climbers, I'm so glad that we're all here together today as we continue our trek through the Bible, through God's big story. The circus is gone and we are off on a rock climbing adventure. Why? Because the pages of the Bible, they are filled with ups and downs and cliffhangers at every turn. Even now, the story isn't over. That's right. God's story is continuing right here, right now. And as we've seen through the Bible so far, life can sometimes take a lot of grit. So what is grit? Grit is refusing to give up when life gets hard. Now, grit might be a word that you haven't heard a lot before, but the idea of grit goes way back. In fact, the Apostle Paul wrote about it in Galatians 6:9. Check it out. This is our memory verse for this month. Galatians 6:9. Let us not become tired of doing good. At the right time, we will gather a crop if we don't give up. Let's add some actions to that. The first part, let us not. So we'll do let us not, big slashing arms. Let us not become tired, you're going to make sleeping hands, of doing good. So let's do the first part again. Let us not become tired of doing good. Next part, at the right time, tap on your watch, we will gather a crop, so pull it all towards you, if we don't give up. Galatians 6:9. Let's put that all together. Galatians 6:9. Let us not become tired of doing good. At the right time, we will gather a crop if we don't give up. Galatians 6:9. One more time. Galatians 6:9. Let us not become tired of doing good. At the right time, we will gather a crop if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. I love that. If we can keep holding on and trusting God, we know it'll be worth it in the end. Let's sing and thank God for giving us the power to never give up.
1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. Are you ready, everybody? Here we go. Everybody get down low. You can go even lower. Here we go. Everybody jump up high. Come on, jump up. I know you can jump even higher. Come on, let's shout as loud as we can shout. Woo! God is here right now. Yes, He's here without a doubt. Yeah, He is always with us through every up and down. He will never leave us. He'll always be around. He's the one we can trust. God will always be with us. God will always be with us. Yeah! Now you ready to spin around? Come on, everybody. Here we go. Everybody spin around. Yeah! I dare you to spin much faster. Now there you go. Everybody wave your hands. Come on, let me see your hands in the air. To see who can wave the fastest. Come on, let's shout as loud as we can shout. God is here right now. Yes, He's here without a doubt. Yeah, He is always with us through every up and down. He will never leave us. He'll always be around. He's the one that we can trust. God will always be with us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He is always with us through every up and down. He will never leave us. He'll always be around. He's the one that we can trust. God will always be with us. God will always be with us. God will always be with us.
This fall, we started talking about a guy named Abraham. God promised Abraham He would bless the whole world through Abraham's family. It took years and years, but eventually God gave Abraham and his wife Sarah a son named Isaac. Isaac grew up and had a son named Esau and a son named Jacob. Then Jacob grew up and had 12 sons, including a young man named Joseph, who we're going to talk about this month. Joseph was the second youngest in the family, and he was his father's favorite son. Jacob loved Joseph so much that he gave him a beautiful, expensive, and colorful robe. When Joseph started having some very interesting dreams, he couldn't keep them to himself. He just had to tell his brothers. Listen to what he told them. We were tying up bundles of grain out in the field. Suddenly, my bundle stood up straight. Your bundles gathered around my bundle and bowed down to it. Joseph's brothers were not pleased to hear about his dream. They said, "Do you plan to be king over us? Will you really rule over us?" Joseph wasn't done, though. Another day, he told them about another dream he had. "Listen," he said, "I had another dream. This time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me." According to Joseph's dream, his mother and father and brothers would one day all bow down to him. Now, Joseph's brothers were getting jealous of him. Really jealous. So when Jacob sent Joseph to check up on his brothers out in the fields, get this, they tore his robe off of him and threw him in an empty well. Yikes! The brothers were still deciding what to do with Joseph when they saw a group of traders heading for Egypt. Joseph's brothers decided to sell him to those traders. The brothers even took Joseph's special robe back to their father. They put some animal blood on the robe so that their dad would think Joseph was dead. Poor Joseph, he was taken all the way to Egypt and sold to a man named Potiphar, who was the captain of the Pharaoh's guards. Joseph didn't know anyone in Egypt. He didn't even speak the language. It was not a good situation at all. But God was with Joseph even in Egypt. Joseph worked hard, so hard, that he did so well and gained Potiphar's trust. Eventually, Potiphar put Joseph in charge of his entire estate, his home, his servants, his animals, and all of his possessions. It seemed like things were finally looking up for Joseph, until they fell apart again. Potiphar's wife tried to get Joseph to do something wrong. Joseph refused, but as he ran out of the house, he left his cloak behind. Potiphar's wife then lied and said that Joseph had tried to hurt her, so Potiphar had Joseph sent to jail. Now Joseph was on his own, again, enslaved in a foreign land and stuck in prison for something that he didn't do. But God was with Joseph, even in prison. Joseph worked hard in the prison. He took care of chores and helped the other prisoners. The man who ran the jail was so impressed that he put Joseph in charge of everything. One day, 2 new prisoners arrived straight from the royal palace, the Pharaoh's royal baker and his official drink taster. They had both had strange dreams, but no one could tell them what they meant. Of course, Joseph already had some experience with strange dreams, and he knew that God could help him figure out the hidden meaning. So he asked these 2 men to tell him what they had seen. The men told their dreams to Joseph, and he told them what they meant. Then Joseph asked the man for a favor. He said, "When everything is going well with you, remember me. Do me a favor. Speak to Pharaoh about me. Get me out of this prison." Everything happened just as God had revealed to Joseph. The drink taster was released. Maybe now Joseph would be released too. But the drink taster forgot about Joseph. So there's Joseph, still stuck alone, in a foreign land, in prison, forgotten. And that's where we're going to stop for this week. I'll give you a hint though. Joseph's story was not over. And even when everything seemed hopeless, and Joseph probably felt all alone, even then, God was with him. The same thing is true for you and me too. There are going to be times when we feel alone. There are days when it's hard for us to hang on. But even on your darkest, hardest days, you can put your trust in God. Hold on, because God is with you. Say that with me. Hold on, because God is with you. We all have to face tough things in life. There will be days when things just don't go the way we want, but we can hold on because we know that God is always there. Even when you can't see it, God is still at work. When we remember that we can trust God no matter what, that will help us to hold on and face those challenges with courage and grit. Now, today's lesson left us on a bit of a cliffhanger, I know, but there's more to come. And the important thing to know for now is that God was with Joseph through all of the ups and downs of his life. God was with Joseph when his dad gave him that special robe. And God was also with Joseph when he had to go through those awful things later, like being sold by his brothers and being thrown in prison. But what's really cool to think about is that hundreds of years later, God used Joseph's family to bless the whole world with Jesus. Hold on, because God is with you. Now, there are a lot of things that we might be facing right now where we need to remember that God is with us. So let's head up to small group and talk some more about that. Have a great week.